Welcome to Papa John's World. We're always trying to split wood faster or make things to make it faster or more efficient. Maybe not necessarily always faster. More efficient, less touching the wood, less handling it, smoother flow. So the first thing we did, we built a four-way wedge. That made a huge difference. So in 3 strokes of my splitter, I'm getting 10 pieces of firewood on the appropriate size log. That's awesome. Okay, that's a great thing. The other thing is waiting for the cycle time. If I bump it all the way back in the return detent, it sucks it all the way back to this position. And we're about 22 3/4 there. 6 inches of travel before it hits the log. So that's like this, holding it, holding the log, waiting for it to travel that 6 inches. I think that's about 3 to 4 seconds. So if you figure out a cord of wood, say a cord of our wood's about 10 logs, or it might be a little more than a cord. There's 16 rounds in each one of the logs. And so that means there's 3 strokes per round. So that would be 3, 6, 9 seconds per log I could save if I didn't have to wait for that. Make that auto return not go all the way back. The other thing is I need to increase the size of the little table, because when Grandma's toting the logs around to the back side of the stack, and I get more logs than can set right here on this little table, I'm kind of pushing them out of the way. I don't really have room to get another log in there. The table would be a pretty quick fix. The return is going to take a little bit more thinking, but I'm pretty sure we can figure it out. And I got a couple of ideas. That's what happens when you wake up at 3 in the morning and you can't sleep. You start thinking about stuff like this. Okay, stick with us. Let's see what we can do. Start by flipping that over, and we're just going to extend it out. I'm going to make a couple little hinges right here, and then when we're done with it, we can fold it back up. That's pretty cool. That Chinese paint's tough to weld through. Okay. I'll make sure I get that angle right on the back. You'll see why in a minute. I needed a piece of 3 by 1/8. I didn't have it, so we're going to make it real quick. This is just a stop for the end of the rack. As long as you tack in the middle, and one tack, you can still move the other end pretty good. 21 3/8. Table, and then it's going to fold up when we don't want it. It's only going to fold right there, though. Well, I think that'd be okay. And that's it when it's out in the working position. Enough stop, I think, to hold it. it better for that nylon nut not to get hot too. And part of the reason I did that is so when I weld this weld in here, it don't warp so bad. Okay, there we go. I got a little spring. I'm going to try to use that. It might be too springy. So why the spring? I'm thinking the rod, I'll make a rod and hook to the spring to the end of this handle. And that way, if I have to go back farther, like if I set it really close, like 17 inches, and I wanted to go back 18 for a long log, I can just go ahead and force it back, stretch the spring, and stretch another inch in that spring, and then pop it. So I can go ahead and pull it back, and I'm cheating, but I think it'll work good. Let's see what I can come up with. Here. Okay. I might need to get a little bit stiffer spring, but that could be good on the other hand too. Wow, that's really stretchy. So that's going to cause that rod to go way forward each time too. So this is what I came up with. I'm going to weld this little deal on here. I wanted a better way to lock it on there than a silly hose clamp, but might be what I use for a little bit. And the other thing I could do is, if this wasn't round, if it was square, and I had square blocks here, I could make it hold the angle I wanted all the time. And I may end up doing that, but this is what we're going to try right now. I'm going to weld that on right now and put it together and see what it looks like. Okay. So what's really nice about a wire machine, you can weld 3/8 steel in one pass, or you can just turn it down with even the 035 wire and weld that size. You can put 027 wire in it and weld body panels on cars. Again. So we're splitting. Okay, we split a piece of wood. Now we're bringing it back. "17 inches, pretty good. "16. "16 1/4. "16 3/4. I think I need to move it forward just a little bit more. It's got 17. And the reason I went with a spring, if you had a log that was a little bit longer than normal, you can make it go back more with the spring. So that's 18 1/2. I can move it plumb back to 19 inches. Splitting. Reversing. "17. Funny why that does that. I think that's pretty good. I might need a little bit bigger spring to get it more reliable. For right now, I'll just cut it off right here, and then I have plenty of adjustment in case I get a different spring or anything different. Oh, look at this. I painted it. Exactly where I didn't make it spot. Okay. These don't need to be real tight. So they have little stops right here. That's what will keep it. But you can fold it up like that, and then when you get where you want to go, just turn around. It's not super strong, but it'll hold quite a bit. That'll work good though. That'll work. And it actually, you know, I could probably sit on that if I wanted to, but one little armload of wood is all it's going to hold. That'll be fine. That gives me room to work while Grandma's splitting wood. Okay. Thanks for watching the 3 things you can do to split wood faster. 4-way wedge, a little bigger work table, and an auto return stop that stops just an inch or so more than your next piece of wood. I think that's about the best we're going to do with a box store splitter. Okay, here's our return stop. Let's see how it works. It may need a little adjustment. It may even need more adjustment after the hydraulic oil gets warm and the things start reacting faster. So our 3 things to make it faster. 4-way wedge, return stop, and a bigger table to stack firewood on so we don't have to wait. The hose clamp stripped out.
Aww.
So we have to get a new hose clamp. See if we can do something about this spring. It popped off and caused a little bit of a problem. A little bit more. I think this spring is probably not going to be the one I end up using. It's just a little bit too stretchy. Wow, that's got to be a record. I think it's about 11. About 11, Grandma?
I think so.
And we started about 8:30, and it was probably a little shy of a chord. That was pretty good. The return stop makes some difference. It needs a little bit of work. I need to put a set screw where that hose clamp is, and I think I'll move the support farther back so I can bring, when I want to, I can maybe unhook the spring and bring the rod all the way back. and that way the ram's not sticking out in the weather when we're not using it. I think that's probably important. So it's not a perfect design. There might be some modifications to it, and I'll keep you in the loop when I do it, because I think it's worth doing. Okay, thanks for watching Papa John's World. Be safe.